In this video, we'll see Democratic up-and-comer Jasmine Crockett boldly take aim at her targets. She doesn't just criticize MAGA Republicans, but delivers a series of powerful blows against Doge, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and Elon Musk, all in one impressive move. Let's dive right into the footage. Keep your eyes peeled. I'll pause once to provide some context, because what you're about to witness truly needs a deeper understanding.
Now recognize the gentlewoman from Texas, Ms. Crockett, for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And Mr. Talcove, I'm just going to go ahead and pick up where you left off really quickly. Just to be clear, the upgrades that you're talking about as it relates to our data processes, these aren't things that would be free, are they? They would cost some kind of money. Not looking for a number, but they will cost, correct?
Some are free and some would cost money.
Okay. All right. So I just want to leave it there because we've had a number of these hearings. So I do want to be clear, before the Trump administration came in, this committee did exist in the form of the Oversight Committee, and our task is to root out waste, fraud, and abuse. In that vein, we had a number of hearings, at least last term. I can't speak for any other term as I'm only in my sophomore term. And we dealt with improper payments. And interestingly enough, our chairwoman, who is so passionate about this today, she missed every single one of those improper payment hearings. But just to be clear, I was there, so I don't want anyone to believe that Democrats just come to work and don't plan to do work. In fact, I'm trying to figure out exactly what it is that the Republicans believe our job is, because right now they have relinquished their constitutional duties over to an unelected bureaucrat, someone who no one went out to vote for. And absolutely, he is occupying the Oval Office, as we saw yesterday. And that is a first for me, to see someone occupying the Oval Office who's never actually been elected to the Oval Office and actually answering more questions than the person that allegedly got elected. But for whatever reason, this is the first time we're having a Doge subcommittee hearing, and that guy's not here. Instead, we have y'all. So I do want to thank you for coming. But I will say this. It's also interesting to me that in the first few days of Doge existing, we know that they are trying to get rid of the Department of Education, USAID, Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. They're laying off FAA workers. They are going after the FDA, the CDC, the HHS, the FBI agents, and they're talking about getting rid of FEMA. And they brought y'all in. And I am going to say that I actually was shocked that there was only one person that seemed like he was an overt Trumper as you laid out your opening remarks, because I anticipated that at least one of y'all would say, yes, what Elon is doing is exactly what we would prescribe. But instead, I will applaud you because you actually were focused. You talked about what the American people are looking for us to do. We've actually consistently on this side of the aisle promoted this idea of making investments into technology so that we can do things such as, say, look at the Department of Defense. The Department of Defense that takes up approximately 50% of our discretionary income, or our discretionary spending. Approximately 50% goes to Department of Defense. Department of Defense has not been able to pass an audit in the last 6 audits, and we're not talking about pennies. I understand that we want everything to be perfect, and if we could get all waste, fraud, and abuse out, that would be fantastic. But let me talk about the big numbers. The big numbers are on that side.
This is where the whole room shifts. Jasmine Crockett doesn't just expose contradictions. She outlines a pattern. Billions go missing from the Department of Defense, audits fail year after year, and the same Republicans screaming about fiscal responsibility are lining the pockets of defense contractors and tech moguls like Elon Musk. It's the same trick over and over: manufacture outrage, defund watchdogs, hand power to billionaires, and then pretend it's about the Constitution. This isn't oversight, it's a setup. Jasmine's one of the few calling it out. Let's continue watching.
When we look at, say, our entire workforce, our federal workforce, as we're trying to somehow fire all of them, they don't even make up a total of 5%. It's even less than that when we look at our budget. But let's talk about defense. That just happens to be the same side of the ledger that Mr. Musk gets the vast majority of his money from. In fact, at the same time that they were unlawfully, and we will stay in court, because on this side, we believe in law and order. We believe in, a number of us are actually lawyers, but nevertheless, we understand the Constitution. We believe in that as well. And so there's things such as, impoundment, right? Because as Mr. Whitson said, he said, we need to return the power of the purse to Congress. It never left. According to the Constitution, that's where it's at. Now, I know that people are confused right now because for whatever reason, we had a guy that went in, and you talk about people invading our data. Listen, people said that they were upset about TikTok, but I'm upset about the guy that runs Twitter, who for sure is doing nefarious things, because I don't understand, if you are trying to conduct audits and figure out where the waste, fraud, and abuse is, I don't know why you would go to some tech guy. In fact, it was only techies that were sitting there at inauguration. We didn't have auditors. I would welcome auditors to come in and do forensic audits. In fact, he sat there in the Oval Office yesterday and he admitted that he was lying, and he was using his propaganda machine to do it when he said that we sent millions of dollars to Gaza for condoms. That was a lie. So let me tell you something.
The gentlelady's time has expired.
It's time for
the
us
gentlelady's
to do our
time has
job
expired.
and rein in this rogue actor known
The
as
gentlelady's
Elon
time
Musk.
has expired. I now recognize the
Bravo. Seriously, as someone watching this, I've got to say, Jasmine Crockett is the real deal. She's not just showing up. She's out here dismantling MAGA Republicans in real time, unapologetically, and with receipts. She's not playing nice. She's not hedging. She's doing what so many Democrats have been afraid to do for years, confronting the nonsense head-on and making sure the American people hear the truth. This is exactly what the left needs more of, not just strong messaging, real accountability, publicly, visibly, and repeatedly. Because let's be honest, the amount of misinformation flying around right now, especially from MAGA influencers and Trump loyalists, is absolutely wild. And when those lies get repeated enough, they start to stick. That's how confusion takes root. That's how democracies fall asleep at the wheel. And Doge? Completely dodgy. That's what we'd call it here. Elon Musk, a private tech billionaire, having access to government-level data and avoiding real audits? That should be raising every red flag in sight. The fact that they don't want oversight, don't want transparency, and don't want to be held to account? Yeah, that's not just suspicious. That's dangerous. But this is why voices like Jasmine's matter. She's not just making noise, she's shifting the conversation. And I think she could be something bigger, I really do. The Democratic Party feels like it's in limbo right now. Biden's fading. Kamala didn't break through. But Jasmine, when she speaks, people stop scrolling. They listen. She's got presence. And more importantly, she's got clarity. But let me know what you think. Could Jasmine Crockett be the future of the Democratic Party? Could she be the one to cut through the chaos and lead with purpose? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I appreciate you being here, and I'll catch you in the next one.